It's 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's spend some time with one of our good friends. It's Congressman Mike Carey, Ohio's 15th District on the LegacyRetirementGroup.com phone line. Congressman, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It sounds like you had a great trip to Chicago.
It was good. I wouldn't want to live there, but it's a fine place to visit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in Chicago are moving out of Chicago. They all want to move to Columbus, and I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. And we're glad that you are representing at least a slice of Central Ohio, and Mike Carey with us. We got a number of things to cover, Michael. Sure. Let's start with the big story. President Trump at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, with the backdrop there being the whole Greenland play. What are your overall thoughts on this?
Well, I think there's a lot of things with this Greenland play. This is something that he has talked about for quite some time. And I think for a lot of people, Greenland, I think if you did a poll to America, a lot of people couldn't even tell you where Greenland was on the map and, how big Greenland is. It's the region. But I think what we have to understand is our long history with Greenland. And there was a Danish treaty that went back all the way to the 1950s, which allowed us to have essentially unfettered access to military bases. I think at one point we had about 18 military bases that were in Greenland, and I think many of them have been abandoned, but a lot of that was partially due, if you think back, to the fall of the Soviet Union and the need. But obviously, as we've seen China and Russia increase their shipping lanes, we've seen not only our missile defense and the things that we want to do to protect our homeland. I think these are discussions, but again, as I've told everybody, I think when you look at the president begins from a position of trying to negotiate. I think we have a lot of things on the table. I think that, I think folks in Europe would be welcome to talk about the treaty that was done in the 1950s and where we are. But this sets a whole new game, so we'll see what happens in Davos. I'm sure we'll be briefed on that at some point today.
Sure.
But again, I think people need to go back and look at the long history that we've had in that region and what they did, not only in World War II, but I think after World War II in the 1950s. Yeah,
there's been a number of different administrations, Congressman, that have made a play for Greenland, and they haven't really worked out. So this is not something that's new. It's new to us in this generation, but this is, as you said, there's a long history there of the United States trying to have make a bigger play and have some more interest in that area. And I hope we can do it without using military force, and we can come to an agreement with the folks there and get it all worked out and make sure that there's global security and everything we need there. So,
absolutely.
Closer to home, let's talk about funding the government. I think the current spending package is set to expire here in about 10 days. I don't think we're going to see a replay of what we saw in October, correct?
No, I don't think so. I think you're going to see that. We've been slowly, in a bipartisan way, negotiating these appropriation packages. This week we're going to have a series of them. These are all part of the larger funding, but I don't see a shutdown. I really don't see that happening at all. So I think what you're going to see, and I do believe that we'll get this done. We'll see the THUD, for those folks that don't know what that is the Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development Appropriations. That is a large number because it takes in, obviously, a lot of different facets. Labor, HHS, will be doing defense. There is a litany of things, increasing the defense. Very good projects within that. And then, of course, the Homeland Security bill, which will probably be a different bill. I think that initially we were looking at passing all four together, but I think Homeland may be partialed out. So we should get this done. I don't believe you're going to see. And listen, this is very good for the 15th Congressional District, but really important for Franklin County and Central Ohio.
Yeah, I see. And this is you. This is Congressman Mike Carey, Ohio's 15th district, doing his job, which is, it shouldn't be impressive, Mike, but when you hear about politicians, sometimes they don't do their job. You, sir, you've got about $10 million for 6 projects in your district specifically?
That's just in this funding package. If you look at what we've done over the last few weeks, we're way over that. But in this, if you just look alone, and of course the folks on the west side, it came to me and talked to me about. A lot of us are old enough I don't want to tell us how old you and I are, Mike, but I mean, Westland Mall, we remember Westland Mall.
Yes, we
and now
do.
we're in the stage of life where there's that redevelopment and the things that are going on. It's exciting on the west side of the city, and anybody that hasn't been on the west side, please go to the west side. But it's a lot of fascinating things. But I think if you look at the Westland Mall and their redevelopment, we've got $2.5 million going into that. A lot of that is within the infrastructure. Great project. Anybody that's on US 33 today as they're driving to and from work got $2 million going for the US 33 corridor. Great project. And I'd be remiss because I know there's a lot of folks from the Dublin area, and Chris Grooms has been, the mayor of Dublin, has been very focused on the Emerald Connector project in Dublin. And in this project, or in this pocket of appropriations, that's $3 million that'll go to that Emerald Conductor. So that will not only just affect Dublin, but all of that region of our city and of our region, of our county. So really excited about these projects. We've got another two, Miami County, that working on, and Shelby County, that'll be part of this package. But again, we should get this done hopefully this week, and we're supposed to get about 12 inches, 13 inches of snow that will be coming in this weekend here in D.C., so hopefully we can get this done and remain in our districts and go around and talk to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, again, thank you, Congressman, for your hard work in bringing some of this money to Central Ohio, and specifically the 15th District and all of these individual infrastructure projects. Your work is appreciated and has definitely gone noticed. So it's been a year, which, boy, what a year since President Trump took office. I think it was a year yesterday. And, I mean, boy, you look at some of the policies that he has delivered on some of the promises that he delivered since being elected. Talk about a little bit of that for a second.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of things, and these are the things that we need to be focused on, and we as Republicans that need to focus on. I think probably the most important, I didn't hear the school cancellations today. I know one of our, Megan and I had one of our kids that didn't have school yesterday, but I think one of the biggest issues that working families have talked to me about has been the expanded child tax credit. We were able to get that up to $2,200. And we did something that hadn't been done before. We actually tied it to inflation. So, whatever Congress is in place, whether it's this Congress or the next, or, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now, tying it to inflation means we don't have to go back to revisiting the child tax credit. So, again, something very important, I think, for our seniors out there, the seniors tax credit of $6,000, again, very strong. People that rely on working on overtimes and tips and exempting that from the no taxes on both of those, very good. Saving accounts for American babies that are being born, no death tax for some of our farmers, the $50 billion in the Rural Transformation Fund. So these are all things, and I think you can kind of see, and you will start seeing this after the first of the year. But look, people are going to see this in their taxes. I mean, I think if you just were to do the breakdown of the math, because of this bill, a family of four, that's 2 adults, 2 dependent children, making about $73 annually, will have no federal income tax liability. The math just breaks down. So we have been able to do some really good things in this for working families, and it is the reconciliation bill that we passed. Whether we're going to have a second reconciliation yet this year remains to be seen, but a lot of good things, and so we celebrate that. I mean, we know that inflation is down from its peak under the former administration, which was high about 70% more. So we're seeing that wages are on the rise by about, somewhere around 4%. And I think anybody that had eggs this morning knows that the egg prices are down about 30% since the president took office. So we're getting things done. A lot of times the media doesn't want to focus on those things, but I think if you look at the results, we delivered. You're going to see the results in Franklin County and the 15th congressional districts with our projects, and just happy to continue to work. We got a great team in our district office and in our D.C. office, and I'll tell you what, they've been working tirelessly to make sure we got these projects over the finish line.
Well, Congressman, again, we appreciate your hard work, and before I let you fly, I don't know, you may want to get a friendly wager, whoever your counterpart is in Indianapolis, looking at October 17th, the Buckeyes travel to Indiana for that game, and that's one we're going to want to have circled on the calendar.
Boy, and you know what's funny? I mean, again, not to show our age, but I mean, it really wasn't all that long ago. I mean, you know, a lot of times you'd make that trip out there because it was like a second home game.
Right.
And boy, now ticket prices just are through the roof. I sit next to Rudy Yakum, who is a Notre Dame fan, but he's from Indiana, and so on Ways and Means all last week, and I just couldn't help myself. I had to put my Ohio State Buckeyes coffee mug right next to him the whole time. Now, I didn't leave it there when I had to get up and take a phone call.
No.
I wasn't sure what he was going to do to it. But,
good for you. Congressman, always great to hear from you, my friend. Congressman Mike Carey, Ohio's 15th District. Stay well. We'll check in again soon.
Fantastic. Great talking with you.